Okay, I'm gonna attempt to do my nails while I talk about my stalker, my ongoing stalker for the last 14 plus years. Yeah, 14 years since 2011. Um, his name is not his real name, obviously. It's gonna be Benjamin Dallas, but you can call him Ben Dallas, and it is alluding to his last name being from Texas. Um, when I first started working downtown, I would avoid him because he had this like used car sleazy type of like vibe going to him. He just looked like a player, right? And I was still like 3 years into my divorce proceedings and 3 years into living alone, and I had not dated at the time yet, and I wasn't looking for it into dating. So I would see him here and there whenever I would do my errands and um, go to other buildings or go to meetings and whatnot. And I just like my body just went the other direction. Like my body told me you need to avoid this person at all costs, at absolutely all costs. He looks sleazy. He looks untrustworthy. There is something about him not right. Ladies, if you get an impression or a voice that tells you really loudly um, not to go for a certain type of person, don't go for them because those are your instincts. Okay, we have women have this intuition that is scarily accurate, and we need to pay heed to it because it would have saved me a lot of trouble if I didn't listen to the outside voices. The ones that made me feel like I was stuck up and picky and oh my goodness, you're being so judgmental. Give him a chance. La 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 la. Yeah, the kind that tells you to settle, like you should humble yourself. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Being stalked for the last 14 years. That's what happened. Uh, Putting my job in jeopardy to the point that I actually quit because, well, I quit for numerous reasons, but one of those reasons was that lack of support at my job and the fact that he was still continuously sending odd packages, sending people, sending emails, sending letters. Uh, um, Physically, he would be roaming that area. I don't know. He would, there were these little places to eat during lunch, and he would be there. He never used to hang out there, and suddenly this is where you're hanging out. Like, since when? Like, even your pick me piece said that he never hangs out there. Why is he there? So one of the reasons that he was actually interested in me, besides the obvious, the physicality of it, I know, was because of my proximity to certain people within the government that he could have influence over, or that I could get information on. Because one of the things about me is that I know how to do research really well, especially, and I can dig really well. I can do a lot of background research, which again I didn't do with him because I didn't take him seriously. I thought it was just gonna be a fling, whatever. And this is the thing: when you allow a person, especially a man, to have access to you intimately, you need to research him. You need to do a background check. And if something's off, it's off for a reason, and just let it go. Don't try to convince yourself. Sometimes, again, that nagging little voice that, because I've always been called stuck up and conceited and, a snob. I was like, oh, well, you know what? Just like, I gave him a chance about 3 years later because I finally decided, 2 or 3 years later, I finally decided, oh, okay, maybe it's time for me to date. I should have just played the field like I was. because this man came with nothing but drama. At the time, he was running for mayor. Yeah. He currently got voted to be a council member. So now he is the representative of my district. Yeah. But with that, he also scarily, if he had the know-how, and I'm sure has people doing it for him, because the motherfucker really had like a harem of groupies that would do whatever he wanted. He convinced every single one of them that they were special, that we were all crazy, that I was obsessed. Oh my god. The way that he convinced these other broads that allegedly I was the one obsessed with him, and I'm like, there were times where I would not return his calls or not even pick it up or respond to his texts, but I was the obsessed one. Yeah, I was obsessed because I was trying to expose the fact that not only was he married, not only was he married and pursuing all these other people, but and some people that were also council members that were married, and he was upset that they weren't putting him in a position within the city where he would get paid, but that he wasn't what he said he was. He's not an entrepreneur, and his so-called nonprofit is just something that he uses to gain access to women, especially young, vulnerable women, maybe underage girls. And I'm not making this accusation lightly. I'm making it because he's a creep. He is a predator. But all these broads, 40 years old and up, thought they were all so special. And um so it, again, like, I should have gone with my first impression. Avoid him. Don't give him the time of day. He's a loser. He's not your type. But because, again, I had that nagging feeling of always being told that I was this conceited and materialistic person, I was like, oh, just give him a chance. Blah, 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 blah. What's the worst that can happen? I had a fucking miscarriage, thank God. But I shouldn't have been pregnant to begin with. I was using protection. My protection. And the one time that I relied on what he had, that's when it happened. And, divine intervention said, you're not going to be tied to this person for life. Because having a child with a person is not for 18 years, it's for life. So let me know if you want to know how he stalked me and the things that he did. And how he took me to court and fucking won. Because, again, men, right? Men. And we really need to, some women are not for women. They're just not. If they're of a certain age, of a certain, like, background, maybe, I don't know, they're just not for women, especially if they're of a certain age and certain background. They're not for women. If they perceive you as some kind of, like, competition or threat, they're not going to be for you. And I'll let you, if you guys want to know about this, let me know.